Guys, we're going to do a quick lesson on dividing decimals. If we're dividing decimals by a whole number, it's not really a difficult job if you know how to divide, which you guys have been doing a great job on it. Dividing a decimal by a decimal is a different story, which we will work on in a couple days. But let's first just look at dividing a decimal by a whole number. First of all, just like multiplying decimals, you're just going to divide like normal and forget about that decimal to start off with. You're just going to forget about the decimal. Then in the end, you're going to bring that decimal straight up. So let me just show you an example of what we're talking about. All right, so let's just look at some examples. All right, 32 and 4/10 divided by 6. So just like normal, I want to know, can 6 go into 3? No. Either you're going to put a 0 there or make sure you save that space. The spacing is very important, obviously, because our decimal has to be in the right place. So make sure you always have something lined up above each number. So now, can 6 go into 32? 5 times. Bring down my next number. Forget about that decimal. 6 can go into 24, 4 times. And I'm finished. So now bring that decimal straight up. Do you see why it's so important that your numbers line up? Okay, if by chance you would have scooted that 5 over, your decimal would have been in the wrong place. All right, sometimes you're going to have to add extra zeros, and I'm going to show you what that means. Remember, if I add extra zeros to this number at the end, it does not change the number at all as a decimal. If I have 1.5, if I add a 0, that's still 1.5. 1.5, 1.5. So adding zeros after the decimal does not matter. All right, so let's look. 5 goes into 6 one time. Sorry about that. Bring down my next number. 5 goes into 13 twice. See, I'm going right above that number. That's 10. Bring down my next number. Goes into 36 7 times. And that's 35. Bring down my next number. Okay, I don't have a next number. So what is my next number? That would be a 0. So now that we're dividing with decimals, you're not just going to write remainder 1. We have to keep going until we finish. So now 5 goes into 10 2 times. I end with 0. Now I'm finished. So bring my decimal straight up. Okay? You do have an opportunity. You do have sometimes where the decimal will go on forever, but we won't work it that way. But there will be times where you will need to add extra zeros. Okay? All right, so I'm going to do one more with you. Actually, let me look at this one. What if I had 5 goes into, well, let's just do this one, 4, 5. All right, 8 goes into 5 one time. Bring down my next number. That goes in 6 times. Bring down my next number, and it goes in 9. That one worked out easy. Bring up. Okay? All right, one other thing real quick before you do a practice problem. I want you to look at a problem like this. Okay? If I think of how many, oops, let's go this way. Sorry, wrong way. If I want to look at this, can 8 go into 6? No. So I have to go to the next number. What is the next number? It's a 0, but I have to add my decimal and a 0. That is still 6, even though I added a decimal and a 0. So now I would just keep dividing like normal. All right? So why don't you try these 3 problems and come back and check your answers. Okay? All right, check your answers. I've got 3 problems here. Hopefully with number 4, did you notice that you kept getting a 60 repeating here? You kept getting a remainder 6 and you brought down the 0. So that means this 6 up here keeps repeating. I think sometimes you see that on a calculator when you'll see one number repeating. This is the repeat sign. Hopefully that's not new to you. That means that this 6 is going to keep repeating and it's never going to change. So I can stop once I notice a pattern down here. And sorry, my work is kind of there. You can stop. And you just put this little line above it, and that lets the person know that that 6 just keeps repeating. Okay? Now, if you get the problem wrong, what is smart is to go through and look at each step and see where you messed up. Not just to look and see, oh, my answer was wrong, but what step did I mess up? Okay. All right, so you have 4 problems to bring back tomorrow. I'm going to be looking for these 4 problems. Remember on this one right here, where is the decimal if it's not shown? The decimal is right there if it's not shown, and you can start adding your zeros. Okay, 4 problems. I'm looking for it tomorrow. All right, see you tomorrow.